I have a whole, I own some 20 different websites in personal growth. Many of them are doing $2, $3 million a year. But there was one particular website I launched, which is beautiful, highly profitable because of how simple it is. And it was a little website based on a concept called remote viewing. Now, I launched this website as an experiment using an experimental marketing model I call the Bloodhound model. I'm going to share that with you because with this model, you can basically, using a blog, generate serious income. What I did, I was able to generate $930,000 in 18 months from this blog, starting from scratch. Okay, with very little advertising and really no JV partners, nothing of that sort. I'm going to show you exactly step by step how I've done this. I've never sold this as a product, and I've only shared this typically at mastermind groups, including the Engage Mastermind group 2 years ago. So here you go. The blog is called Learn Remote Viewing, and any of you can go to that URL to see what it looks like. As you can see, it's pretty damn basic. But as I mentioned, this blog was able to generate just under $1 million in 18 months. I'm going to show you what else is really cool about it. Check out the subscriber list. Well, it's sort of cut off by the curtain, but right there, it says 101,220 people subscribed. So we were able to get over 100K subscribers and generate $1 million every year using this simple blogging process, which I call the Bloodhound model. So step one, you set up a blog. Always use WordPress. WordPress is the only tool you want to use. Now, traditionally, if you use WordPress, it tends to be really ugly. We call it the Lindsay Lohan style of blog. Kind of messy, funky, you know, just sort of messed up. You want to find a way to get WordPress to become a Scarlett Johansson. So right now, we are going from Lindsay Lohan to Scarlett Johansson. And there's a simple way to do that. You go to woothemes.com. WooThemes gives you beautiful custom WordPress themes. The theme that we use on WooTheme is called Canvas. So WooThemes, download Canvas, slap it on WordPress, and you have a Johansson blog. Now, step two, you produce content. This is where people get really hung up. People think they have to write their own content to become the expert or to dominate their niche. Not completely true. See, there are two ways to produce content. That's Roger Ebert, that's Steven Spielberg. One is a movie maker, one is a movie reviewer. The technique I used to generate all that money was the shortcut technique. I did not make movies, I reviewed them. In other words, I reviewed content on remote viewing. So what I do is, I would basically scour the net for hot articles on remote viewing. I would paste the article in my blog, getting permission from the author, sometimes linking back to the author's website, but the only thing I would do differently is write an intro. So that's the intro, that's the actual article. All you need is the intro to be original for you to do well on Google. Now, sometimes I would go on YouTube and I would grab a hot video on remote viewing. I would write an intro, I would paste the video, I would then write a closing asking for a comment. Now, these articles would be categorized. When you put up an article on the blog, you can categorize it into different categories. So we would come up with a category listing that suited what the audience was looking for. This is the mistake most people make. They create a category listing based on their understanding of the market. That's not true. What you want to do is get on Google keyword search and see what are the words that people type in after remote viewing. In this case, you'll see it's remote viewing training, remote viewing targets, remote viewing software. So we take the top keywords and we make these our blog categories. Now, I produced 100 articles on this blog, and I file these articles into these categories, which are designed based on what people are actually typing into Google. The result is, within 6 months, we started popping up all over Google. So if you look at that particular category page, learnremoteviewing.com/category/dreams and consciousness. Dreams and consciousness is a keyword we are going for on Google. Now, by structuring the blog this way, we start showing up on the first page of Google for remote viewing techniques, for remote viewing videos, and this drove us a massive amount of traffic. Now, step three, a lot of people think it's just about the traffic. It's not. It's about the leads. So what we did is we put up a sign-up form on our blog. Now, take a look at that sign-up form. I do so many things wrong, but the sign-up form worked. And when we first launched the blog, we did not have any content. We did not have any free course to offer people. But here's the crazy thing we discovered. We got more sign-ups by using a technique we call the coming soon invite. We did not say sign up to get 7 lessons or sign up to get a free video. All we said is, don't miss out. Our free course launches in 2009. Get on the wait list and you'll hear from us. For whatever reason, we got a 37% sign up rate when the average is 12%. Apparently, people were more intrigued by waiting for something rather than actually getting it immediately. I can't figure this out. Maybe it's all those TSA lines, and we get conditioned in airports to stand in line and wait for stuff. So step 4, you build a relationship with the list. So now, I did not want to, because it was a remote viewing blog, and because I run so many other websites, I created a pseudonym. Just like Stephen King is a pseudonym for I don't know what his real name is, but Stephen King is a pseudonym. Now, the pseudonym I use is Michael Ura, because back at that point I was living in Scotland and I liked whiskey. So Ura was a famous brand of whiskey. And so Michael Ura would write to his list every week. In a good week, maybe twice a week. And he would share simple tips and articles. That's how simple an email is. Now, he would simply link to his hottest blog post. Not every blog post, just the hottest blog post. And every now and then, Michael Ura would send out a friendly type email. So for example, I was taking a trip to Australia, and I sent an email to the list saying, hey, I'm going to be in Sydney. If any of you guys are in town, let's meet up for drinks. I didn't think anyone was going to reply, but I got 300 replies. I got invited to drinks, to the opera. I got people inviting me to stay on their couch, because I built this humongous relationship with the list. And again, this was within 6 months, and we had only about 7,000 people on the list at that point. Now, step 4, the most fun part, you monetize. Okay, so now, it's 6 months later. I had around 6,000 people on the list, no product, nothing to offer, just a series of blog posts, some of which was scoring high on Google. This is what I did. I contacted the 5 leading experts in remote viewing, and I said, can I interview you? I have 5,000 people on my blog who are into remote viewing. Can we do an interview with you? 4 out of 5 said yes. So I now created interviews. So a typical interview would look like this. I would get on the phone with one of the authors, say Gerald O'Donnell, and I'd create a virtual cover, record the interview. Again, I had no idea what I was doing. I listened to one of Alex Mendoz's Teleseminar Secrets course, and the typical interview looked like that. 60 to 90 minutes, great content, typically 1,000 listeners, and at the 20-minute, 30-minute, 40-minute, and 60-minute mark, I'd give a call to action. So I'd say, if you enjoyed Gerald, go to learnremoteviewing.com /special and buy his product. And the product would sell for about $400. Now, my first interview went really well. I made $10,000. That was amazing. We had 1,000 listeners. I made $10,000. I then refined my interview process. I started adding more calls to action. I started delivering even better content rather than holding back. My second interview blew me away. I did $110,000 from that second interview. That was unheard of. I could not believe that I could pull off that much money from a list